are strategic and tactical considerations. You do have to be honest about what's inside of you. And let me give you an example of this. I mean, you know 40% of U.S. citizens don't vote at all, and that's what I'm targeting. And 62% of those who vote third party, either Libertarian or Green, say they would never, ever, ever vote for Democrats or Republicans. So we're only talking about a small slice. But I can tell you this, the flip side is, if I remain silent, or if I begin talking about how wonderful Biden is when I don't believe it, that's a violation of my integrity. So that I do understand, you know, that kind of finger pointing, you are the cause of fascism in America because you got 4% and so and so and so. Yes, that's something that I wrestle with. That's part of that Civil War, the battlefield of my soul too.
What I'm learning is that your real ambition is to be a kind of transcendent existential pressure inside the country to provide something that you think is not there.
Well, it's a beautiful way of putting it, but I wouldn't use the word transcendent. See, I'm a funk master. It's not transcendent. It's immanent. It's grounded in the culture and lived experiences of ordinary people, of those Sly Stone call everyday people. And that's true for all of the social movements. They have transcendent visions because it embraces everybody, no matter what color and gender and so forth. But it is in the funk. And the problem of America is it tends to deodorize its funk. When you playing your guitar, you know where the funky notes are, you see.
The only wrong thing you said is that I don't think I'm a very funky guitar player.
Well, you sound good to me.
Okay,
I'm telling you that.
I'll take it. Dr. Cornel West, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really, really enjoyed it.
This was wonderful though, brother.
It was wonderful for me. Coming up next, a director, a model, an activist, but is she ambitious? Stay tuned. What do you call it when high-end American fashion all but leaves out the faces of Black women? You call it high-end American fashion. The guest who's sitting with me at this table didn't just reshape what beauty looks like on TV, in magazines, and on runways. She helped debunk the myth that the imagery of Black beauty does not sell. Beth Ann Hardison's ambition as a model agency owner, and as an advocate wasn't just to thrive, which she did, it was to blaze paths for other people to follow. And now, at 81, she is the co-director and the subject of an ambitious new film called Invisible Beauty. Beth Ann Hardison, so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Can we talk about just like the very specific word ambition? There's something I think maybe sometimes it's like has a little glow of nastiness maybe. You know, like ambition sounds a little bit meaner than like drive or determination. To me, you're such an interesting and ambitious person. What does how do you even feel about the word?
It's not like I don't like the word. I just don't think that I really am the one who really demonstrates it in the way that I think it's meant. Ambition to me is someone who actually plans to actually do something and do it in such a way that they work towards it, like becoming a doctor, a singer, a musician. The ambition has to be there. The passion has to be there. I come along like a troubleshooter, but it's not a plan before that until I see the problem. To me, that's just like someone who's a house cleaner. You know, they're domestic. They just go, oh, there's dust on the thing. Oh, let me just wipe that off.
And that's you.
That's me to me.
I want to ask you about your son though, because when you modeled, you always kept a second job. And one reason why is that you were raising sort of semi-secretly from the industry a kid. You had a child.
Yeah.
You've said, my son and I needed to cross the line, the winning line. He became an actor. He played Dwayne Wayne on A Different World. How did you encourage a sense of ambition in him? And tell us about the toll that it took on your relationship.
I think what it really was is that, you know, I got pregnant when I was a young girl, and I think it was a fear of just failing. I got lucky that it worked out another way, and I wind up being successful in my own way, you know. But I think the reason why I was had to give Kadeem something to do is because he never knew what he wanted to be.
I love the story that you gave him a scene to be a boy with a missing dog. You know, you turned him on to acting. You encouraged it. But look, I mean, it was your idea, not his. Have you thought yourself or have you talked to him about the way that instilling ambition in other people can sometimes be a little dangerous?
I don't think it's, and I like that you're stuck on this word ambition, because because you and I should go out on a date. We can argue this point.
Oh, thank you so much. It's the first time I've been asked out on this television show. Thank you, Beth.
Because I tell you, I didn't think I was trying to impose ambition. That's for you to do on your own. I think what I was doing is really basically giving him an opportunity to grasp something. Ambition, I don't think you can really teach people ambition.
Let's talk about you and your drive and your career. So in 1980, you became an agent at Click Models. I think you represented a very young Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Then you start your own agency.
Yeah.
It's Beth Ann Management.
Yeah.
And you discover Veronica Webb.
Yeah.
Then you discover Tyson Beckford,
Yeah.
whose contract with Ralph Lauren was, I think, also
Yeah, that was major.
What did it feel like to channel your drive, your ambition, if you want, through other people to help them succeed? It was no longer about you as a model. You were channeling other people. How did that feel?
I didn't want to have a model agency. The last thing I wanted was a model agency, but they made me do it. Most things that I'm doing, someone made me do it. It's never my ambition to say, "Oh, I'm going to do this."
Will you let me try to be ambitious myself and push back on something?
Go ahead.
Okay. We talk about your extremely ambitious career, and you're like, no, I wasn't really that ambitious. We talk about your son, who you push into acting, and you were like, well, no, I wasn't really doing that. Then we talk about you starting a modeling agency, and you say, oh, I didn't want to start a modeling agency.
It's true.
But Beth Ann, is it possible that that there's something about you and the way that you look at your career where you undersell the challenges that you faced instead of doing what most people do, which is oversell them?
Yeah. I'll even get better. I didn't have a career. What I have is many different things I do. You know, I used to have people who stand behind me, and I used to say, this is my backup band. They can explain me better than I can. And people would step in front of me when I would be introduced to someone. They say, oh, please, she's so modest. Let me tell you what she's done. I don't take it on so well. I see that.
Why do you think that is?
I think because I don't think that much of it in the act of doing it. I think that it's something that just had to be done. Someone had to do it.
We'll be a little less rosy now. Okay. So in '96, you closed your agency.
Yeah.
You moved to Mexico. You said, I had no idea what I'd do next because I had no ambition. I had no ambition. If you have no ambition, you don't know what you're going to do. You just make sure you don't sink. Well said. You
I got some good quotes.
You said
like those things. Oh my gosh.
How did that feel? Take me back to Mexico when it was like you had nothing doing after this decades of action.
I basically knew that I was having a nice downtime. It was good, and I didn't have to worry about doing too much. I still had to work a little bit because I still had Tyson, and then I started getting those calls. I think when I left the industry, New York Times had written an article on me saying who was going to do the work that I had been doing and how important it was. And I was like, oh, please, I'm out of here. You know,